Hi, Burkhard. How are you? We were in Nuremberg at Embedded World 2023. What was the special this year?
The two companies I would like to point out, the first one is Toradex. The second one is Slint. So why Toradex? Toradex is, I think, one of the few SOM makers or hardware makers in general who have understood that SOM doesn't stand for system on module, but for software on module or solution on module. So in other words, what I'm getting at is it's not the hardware where they can differentiate with VeriSight, Avnet, Seco, and whoever there is. It's the software where they differentiate. So the hardware, well, it's an IMX8 anyway, or even if you take some chips from Texas Instruments, it's the hardware. So processor, GPU, some peripherals, it's all the same. You put the Linux system on top of it, so some BSP, and that's it for most of the SOM makers, SOC makers, and so on. And it's not enough. So you need a lot more. If you look at what customers really need, it's not just the hardware. So they all have to build a Linux system, and just the BSP, it's simply not enough. They all need something like, well, they have to customize their Linux system, obviously. And then they need things like over-the-air update. Of course, everyone needs it. Typically, they want remote support via VNC or so. They need a window manager. They need secure boot. Yes, they more and more understand that this is a thing they need. They can't do it. It's IoT devices. They can't do without it. So they are connected to the internet. So they need a secure system. They need trusted execution environments. They need a communication between the microcontroller and the microprocessor on their boards. And hardly any of my customers uses the microcontrollers. They pay for it, but they don't use it. You could use it for real-time operations. You could use it for safety-critical operations because it's easier to certify. It's easier to handle than a Linux operating system. So that's some standard building blocks every customer needs. And they don't get it from the SOC makers, terminal makers.
Okay.
They just get a very rudimentary Linux image. And Toradex is the only one who I think starts to understand that they have to offer more. The more is, yes, they have an over-the-air update solution by now. It's a solution. It's not some description on the wiki. That's not enough because that still costs time. And they have an over-the-air update solution, especially together with their Horizon container operating system. Yeah, they can even update the bootloader. They can update the Linux root file system, the applications. They can do that incrementally. That's what I learned at Embedded World. And there's more. They're also building a module for secure boot. It takes a lot of time to get that working. And they are aiming at building a module that works out of the box. Fantastic. So that's something, say, I had a similar discussion with VeriSight some months back, and they said, that's not possible to do that. Well, they will be proven wrong. It's possible. There must be a lot more than that. And Toradex has understood it. I think they have the luck of being a newcomer. They have to get into the market and try to gain market share from the incumbents. That's what they have understood. It's a solution they are providing. So the customers, the OEMs, say construction machine makers, agricultural machine makers, car makers, and so on, they don't have to do that over and over again. They just get it. And then they can focus on implementing their core application, like an infotainment system or on the driver terminal of an excavator or a harvester. That's their core business. It's not building Linux systems and all the standard building blocks they need. And that's Toradex understands it, gets it. I haven't seen anyone else who gets it.
Okay, understood. And why Slint?
Slint, a small company many people probably don't know. I was looking for alternatives to Qt. because I have a lot of customers who are a bit annoyed by Qt, especially by the licensing model. Many smaller or medium companies just say, that's far too much. I can't afford to pay 50 or 100,000 euros just now in advance for the next 3 or 5 years. That's out of the question. They are looking around but don't find anything. And Slint is a UI framework, just focused on UI, so a direct competitor to Qt. And they showed a Slint UI running on a Raspberry Pi Pico, a microcontroller, and it used only something like 200 kilobytes. So note, kilobytes, that's something most developers don't even know anymore. So it's normally gigabytes. So you're normally talking with Qt on microcontrollers, you're talking about 6 to 8 megabytes of RAM and flash memory you need. And they make it possible to do it in kilobytes, 200 kilobytes, which is an amazing feat. I was working on a 16-bit microcontroller some years back, and we built an internet radio on top of that. So, and you always had to think, okay, do I have a little bit more money available, or no, I have to release that and to get some more. Okay, back to Slint. And so what they showed, what they built within 2.5 years is amazing. Obviously, you can use it on microcontrollers, but you can also use it on any bigger processor. That's not the problem. And now comes the kicker. Their pricing model is fantastic, and it's exactly for the small and medium businesses, and probably also for others, but they come later. So you have 3 licenses there. And the first one is, well, you can use it under GPL and it's fine. That's nothing for businesses. The second one is a so-called ambassador license. So you can use it for free. You don't get any support. That's my understanding. And you just have to say, we are using Slint, and you can use it for free. Fantastic. And even the commercial option is very well suited for smaller, medium companies. You have either the option to buy something for one product, and then it doesn't matter how many developers are on that product. You pay for something like 5,000 euros per year, and that's for one product. Or you say, okay, I want to build multiple products, then you pay per developer. And the first developer is again something like 5,000. And from the second onwards is something like 750 euros. And there is a little bit of royalties there, but it's €3.50 and then going down. So you can do the math, and it's a lot less than Qt. This is actually what I would have wished, or what I wished for a long time from the Qt company to come up with, a license targeted to small and medium businesses. Just some fixed price in the end, and there you go. You get some support, but that's it. And then for the bigger customers, you can do something more customized. Fine, but you don't see it. So that's why Slint is a new entry, and yeah, a newcomer. And they are backed, I think, by investors. And yeah, it's looking good. And I really want to try it out. So I hope I'll have some time now soon. I will probably take one of my Harvester HMIs and try to implement some parts of it in Slint. So that's the plan.
Interesting. And Burkhard, will I see you again next year in Nuremberg?
Of course. And I think next year I need to take 2 days. I think the first time where I said, I should have been there 2 days. So I missed the whole 4A with companies like Foundries.io, which I find very interesting. So they have also understood that that hardware is nice, but it's the software around it, it's the platform you're delivering with the hardware. And what I understand is that they are building, as a service, they are building, I think, even Linux images or the firmware platform for microcontrollers or so. And yeah, they've understood it, and I think it's going in this direction.
Great. Fantastic. Burkhard, thank you very much.
You're welcome. See you next year. at Embedded World.
It was it. No, I think I will see you before. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. That definitely at the show again.
Okay. So bye-bye. I see you soon.
See you soon.